Hello, I'm Andrew, and this is my co-host Brendan. But I think we're all going to be a little bit sad today in this episode because it is the final episode of Auto Charge.
Woo! Finally, thank God. Me and the audience don't need to suffer at the hands of you anymore.
Me?
Yes, you.
What'd I do?
Bro, you know exactly what you did through this entire season. But let's not get into that. The audience doesn't even know what we're doing for our last episode, so let's take a little look.
Why are you not really contributing much to this grand finale that we're doing today? It's the finale of our once great show that we're so passionate about.
Well, I would like to contribute, but unfortunately, I still haven't even received my first paycheck.
But
it's been 7 months.
Listen, I haven't received my own dental plan from Rogers, so I guess we're both upset here.
Well, yeah, it's because they're trying to make as much profit as they can off of us, so I'm not going to get paid, and you're not going to get this damn dental.
So if you're not getting paid, and they're not going to give me my dental, how am I going to save enough money to pay for the Corvette I just leased?
Why would you lease a vet?
Well, the guy was going to give me a good deal. Listen. So he said my grandkids wouldn't have to pay for it after I die. So if I made this TikTok with him, I would only have to pay it for life. Just take a look.
Excuse me, sir, how much you put down on this thing?
0.
And how much you pay each month?
$9.99.
And for how many months?
For life.
Hey, yes, sir, that's a happy customer.
See?
For life.
For life.
As in, like, the rest of your life. Like, until you die.
Well, not anyone else's life.
Dude, you might genuinely be a certified dumbass for life. Like, what?
Listen. Just take a look at the review that we did on it. You know, as an upper middle class businessman, such I'm pretending to be myself, I like to pretend I like to steal taxpayer dollars every single month. But you know, I need a sports car in which I will only use once a month. I'm looking for something that's front-engined, rear-wheel drive, with something like standing like 500 horsepower, relatively cheap, and has great American history. I'm going to show you the type of car I would buy. This is what I have. The 2019 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. Unfortunately, we couldn't afford the ZR1 or the new 2025 C8. It is what it is, but this is still very interesting. It has one prehistoric feature. It has a 7-speed manual transmission, something that Canadians seem to be very afraid of. At the time, this came in 4 trims. It was the Stingray, the Gran Sport, which is just the souped-up Stingray, the Z06, which had a supercharger and had 650 horsepower, and finally the top trim, the ZR1, which had 755 horsepower. This one here is a little more basic, with only 455 horsepower, with a 6.2-liter V8, 0 to 60 in about 3.9 seconds. GM wanted this C7 to be taken a little more seriously than those older C5s or C6s. Yes, they were beautiful vehicles, but shitty cars. They wanted to be looked upon more like a Porsche. The inspiration was fighter jet and Formula 1 car, designed to look fast while standing still. They didn't want people saying old man's car, just a muscle car, great for the money. They wanted people saying it's great, period. But anyway, this is getting boring. Let's hit the road. Now I see why they don't drive this prehistoric transmission downtown. Silly me for bringing a $70,000 car where some crackhead might shit on. While I'm here, I can discuss the part I like the least about this car, the interior. It has one of the most useless features I've seen in a car, this screen. Cheeseburger. And the infotainment isn't great either. It's super confusing to navigate, and it doesn't even have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, something that was kind of standard in 2019. The interior feels like a more refined version of the C6, which is already pretty shit because it has no glove compartment. It has a bunch of useless stuff on the steering wheel. At least it feels really nice. One thing I find really funny about this car is the navigation, because if you don't pay for it, you just get a compass. That's actually so goofy. Now this Corvette drives a lot better than a C6. But the clutch is very interesting. It's super stiff. There is a small learning curve when getting into the car. I've never fully understood why people don't drive manual or standard cars nowadays. I truly believe that it makes you a more attentive and aware driver. Clearly not me, because I'm still driving like shit. It gets you more in tune with the car that you're driving. And if you're gonna drive on the roads, you should know the basic mechanical things on your car. Oh, we're about to leave the city now? But before I do that, I'm gonna quickly stop off real quick. Now, before we go to the north and then test out the car, I'm gonna take off the roof. But before that, the front tires have 18-inch alloy wheels, while the rears have 19-inch, with really low roll profile tires. It also has these Brembo 4-piston caliper brakes. To take off the roof of the car, you want to get into the vehicle, take down these sun visors, unlatch these latches, come back here, unhook this, bring that back. If you don't want to leave this hanging around, you're going to want to open the trunk. Actually, we're going to leave it like that. Maestro, come here. Come here, lift this with me. Oh. There we go. Just want to open this up. The roof fits into these latches placed in the trunk. And if you see these little balls here, they fit into the slots right here, just like your girlfriend's mouth. You know, with this car and a bunch of other American cars, they like to give the consumer a bunch of bitch-ass warning, like going 1 over the speed limit. You know, trying to change gear to save on fuel. But I'm sorry, but I'm not interested in saving fuel in this car. I will be going 100 in second gear. Speaking of RPMs, this car does have hill start assist and rev matching. But, you know, rev matching is for people who don't know how to drive a manual transmission properly. However, it is still super good and smooth. Well, speaking of the track, this car does have a few different modes on it. It has wet, eco, sport, and touring, which, you know, most people who buy this car like a businessman will use. Sport and track stiffen up the suspension and kind of boost the performance, which, you know, just makes the ride worse. However, there is different modes on the infotainment system here that actually can make the car louder if you want it. And for the more astute car enjoyer, there on the dashboard there's car temps, oil temps, and battery wattage. I don't know if you've heard me saying that this was inspired of a Formula One car, but it has a lot of the telemetries that you would see on a Formula One car on the dash. It has, like, you know, how much horsepower you're using. It even has the G-forces that you're putting on your neck. That's actually super cool. The best way to describe this Corvette is that it's definitely an end of an era. I'm not speaking no bullshit. I would definitely say that the new C8 compared to this C7 definitely abandoned a lot of its roots. The new C8 went all Euro about it. You know, when you put the engine in the back behind the driver, it's just not the same. I'm gonna give you an example. That new C8 uses an auto-tuned exhaust sound, but this C7, I'm a natural. This Vet has a lot of quirks. This one abandoned the round tail lamps like it's been using for many years and decided to go with these Camaro-like edgy tail lamps, which honestly I like, but at the time was very controversial. And since this is a Stingray and not a Z06 or Gran Sport, it comes factory packed with these bitch-ass air vents, which are obviously functional on the higher trim. Now you might be asking me, with all those cars' quirks, why would you buy this over a Porsche or a C8? Well, mostly because you're broke, but if you could buy a Porsche, you would buy a Porsche. The reason why you'd buy this is because it's more analog than that. It's not as refined as a German car. You're along for the ride with a Porsche. But with the Corvette, you command and lead it. The price of this Stingray at the time in Canada was $75,000, which is pretty good value for money considering how much car you get. And the reason why people like me like this Corvette is because it's the last front-engine Corvette to be made. It's unfortunate that they've been doing something for 66 years and decided to abandon it for something Italian. And perhaps in the future, going towards electricity. You know, I've never driven any of the new Porsches. And I'm sure if I did, I'd probably prefer that over to this. But I don't know, something about this Corvette is a little bit special. And something about it makes it super fun to drive.
Well, moving on from Andrew's bad financial decisions, we actually have our first piece of real fan mail.
Really?
I know. How exciting.
Yeah.
We actually have fans. That was my biggest surprise.
That wasn't a surprise to me. I feel like everyone liked the show.
All right, well, let's take a look. This piece of mail comes from the Canadian government.
What does the Canadian government have to say about my show?
I don't know, didn't know they were fans. It's a cease and desist for Used Car Crackdown, Episode 2. We kindly request that you remove all mention of our client in your second edition of Used Car Crackdown. Oh, actually, you can hold on to that. That's all for you.
Why? Are you a little bit jealous that I'm getting fan mail and you're not?
Well, if the fan mail looks like that, you can have as much as you want, so.
See, this is the co-host that everyone should strive to have because, you know, we're about to move on to the last and final Used Car Crackdown. And hopefully after this one, we'll get more mail like this.
Let's bully one last person. Dude, I literally knew this was gonna happen. Genuinely, it would have been such a better clip if she just pulled out a gun and shot you.
Bro, that's actually genuinely so disrespectful coming out of your mouth. But anyway, tip to people on Marketplace. If you don't want to show up to a car meet, just tell me and don't waste my time. Thank you.
Okay, but to be fair, not all that can be put on her. Some of that blame's gotta be put on you. Because you're telling me, you looked at all these Marketplace listings and you're like, yep, I'm gonna go with this lady right here.
Brendan, listen, I was just trying to make a deal. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. I don't think I'm gonna be fooled again.
Okay, so what did you do after she didn't show up?
Well, I looked around the car for a little bit, just trying to see what was going on, thinking about what I could say if they ever showed up, but they never did.
How long were you waiting there?
About 10-15 minutes, and this is just footage of me leaving.
Wow, so much for the last Used Car Crackdown. What an absolute disappointment. Kind of like everything else we do in the show.
Oh, I wouldn't say this next part of Used Car Crackdown would be a disappointment, because I went back out there looking for another car, and I think I found it. Do you remember these ones? It's the 2009 Mazda 5.
Yeah, I think I remember them. They're the only car that might be rustier than a Honda Fit.
Honestly, yeah, we probably will see a lot of rust in this next clip, because take a look. So, this is Mazda 5? Yes.
2009, yeah.
2009 Mazda 5?
Yeah.
How long have you owned this one for?
1 year. We bought it for the kids to drop at the school, but now they are giving back.
So you buy a new car, is that why you're selling it? Or you just like, they're taking the...
Yeah.
Okay. Has this car gotten into any accidents since you had it?
When we bought it, it's same like that.
Same like that?
I bought it private.
There's a small panel gap here and like this few accidents. Oh, the rocker's a little bit... It's very rusty. 2009, yeah. How much are you asking for?
4,000.
4,000? Do you mind if we turn it on?
Yeah.
Is you only have one key?
I have one more.
One more? Okay. How do you open the trunk? Oh, there? Is there something missing here, or is that just how it comes?
Like that.
It's like that? Okay. Does the AC work?
AC not is coming, but it's not that cool.
How do you open the trunk? Not a lot of space. I guess these go down, yeah?
You can hold it out.
Okay. In terms of price, I think it's too high. 4,000, and the rockers, like, there's a lot of rust. Like, when you turn it on, it makes a weird noise. So I think there's probably going to be a lot of problems when it comes to safetying it. If it has too much rust, you can't safety the car. You have to get a whole new rocker panels replaced. Yeah, because under here, on this side and the other side, is really rusty. There's a lot of panel gaps here, so it's probably been in like an accident before you bought it. I'm gonna be honest, I think the max I'd give you with this car is 2,000. Sorry?
I bought it 5, but it's running very good. There's no issue at all.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, the safety of the car is gonna be a lot of money. Because say for example, I buy it for you for like 4,000. I'm gonna spend like another 1,000, almost 800 bucks just trying to get everything fixed. Like when you turn on the car. Yeah, but that's why the resale is not the best. So, what's the lowest you would go?
Maybe 33.
33?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, that's still a little bit too high. Let me see and the wear on the tires too. Like the thread is already pretty low. Yeah, that's probably 2K is like the max I'd go. Yeah.
Max is
no deal.
that's too low.
Too low? Okay. All right. Then it was nice seeing you then.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Contact me if you want to go for that.
Yeah,
but like, yeah, that's the max I'd go.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we're done with that, let's move on to something more topical, talking about the government.
Oh Christ, I should have seen this coming. Please just don't say anything that we're gonna regret in our future.
Don't worry, Brendan, I've done my own independent research this time.
Okay, TikTok, Reddit, and ChatGPT are not reliable sources, so they're not called research.
Brendan, when have I ever used those sources of information for my own political talk?
Dude, any sort of political conversations I try and have with you, they always lead back to the World Economic Forum.
Brendan, don't worry. I got my information from a legitimate government source.
Okay, well, two things before we go off into this. It better be Canadian government, and please say it relates to automobiles somehow.
Yes and yes, because the Canadian government, the liberal Canadian government, wants to ban the sale of gas cars by 2035. They have a whole plan for it and everything.
Okay, I see how it is. I get why we're talking about this now.
Okay. Why do you think I'm talking about this?
Fun fact, Andrew here is actually the least environmentally friendly person in the world. You have never, and he will never give a shit about the environment. Sorry, I just thought I'd let them know about your bias.
Listen, I'm the most environment friendly person I know. Take a look at this video that I have of me driving a Tesla. And this is where I lost control over the bend, and then I hit into the water barrels there. And this is the aftermath after the accident.
Dude, you can buff that right out. I think you might need some new rims or a little bit scratched up.
Anyway, Brendan, I was pondering, why would they want to make it so they won't be able to sell gas cars by 2035?
For the environment.
Yeah, but I was thinking, they want 20% of all cars next year to be EVs, but only 9% of all cars sold this year were EVs. How are they going to bump it up by 10% by next year?
You know what I do? Just start giving that away. You know, it's a lot like selling drugs, if you really think about it. You know, you sell the first bit for cheap, like China, and then get the people hooked, and then you raise the prices, and people just keep coming back for more.
Especially if you make them disposable, like most Teslas are now.
Why do you keep saying Tesla?
And I was thinking how most electric cars seem to be more disposable like old cars in the past. Like, think about all those Toyota Corollas that seem to be indestructible.
So, well, what's your point? Like, places like Norway have already implemented laws for EVs to take over.
My point is, like, what's the point of banning all of them? How come they can't do like a 70-30 split or something?
I don't know. I feel like it makes more sense for them to ban 100% of the cars rather than just most of them. I feel like it reflects better on the country.
So it's a marketing tool.
They want to show that Canada is all about change, and not enforcing it to the fullest extent just makes us look stupid.
But it's not going to make much of a difference. They're not banning excavators, they're not banning tractors, they're not banning industrial machinery. They're only banning the new sale of gas cars. It's not going to make a difference.
That's because those are essential to their specific jobs. Like, it's very difficult to get electric excavators.
But I feel like that's where most of the carbon emissions come from. Listen, I know that it looks good on paper. However, we don't even have a power grid that's going to sustain all these electric cars. My power goes out even if I'm microwaving a vacuum on at the same time. How are we going to sustain all these millions of electric cars?
And also, never mind the fact that building EVs actually goes against everything they stand for. Like, for the production of them, go up to northern Canada and take a look at the lithium-ion mines and see how eco-friendly and fuel-efficient they really are.
Banning the sale of gas cars isn't going to solve any environmental problems.
What facts are you basing this off of?
None. But 11% of all emissions from last year were from personal vehicles or gas cars. But they're not, this is just the low-hanging fruit of the environmental tree. They're not focusing on coal mines, oil mines, generating electricity, all the other problems. They're only focusing on the 11%. There are plenty of other more important things that emit worse emissions than my gas car that they should be focusing on.
Holy rant. Oh my god, you would have went off in 2012 YouTube, bro. Jesus Christ. You know, Teslas are the future, like it or not. Electric cars, they are the future. Like, basically every company is doing them now. I'm sure your tune would be different if you had one of those Chinese BYDs.
100%. China, this is a message from Canada. Please bring more of your BYDs over to Canada.
I don't think they're allowed to do that.
Why?
Tariffs and stuff.
Tariffs.
Yeah. Don't
Is that because of Trump and Tesla?
Did you know if you were to import a BYD to Canada, it would still be cheaper than to buy a brand new Tesla?
Which one?
Almost any Tesla.
Really?
Yeah. Or even if they were, but just think, even if they were $10,000 and have a 100% tariff, that's still $20,000. That's still cheaper than majority of cars on the market.
I'm still not fully convinced with electric cars. Back when we had horse and carriage and the Ford Model T came out, I wouldn't have bought the Ford Model T.
Yeah, but cars were always meant to be electric.
However, banning the sale of new gas cars, yes, it is inherently going to make a difference, but not for another few years after 2035. But I just think it's a little bit silly that we have to strip the freedoms of being able to buy a new gas car. There's still horse and carriage even when the Ford Model T came out. We didn't ban horse and carriage then, but we shouldn't ban the new sale of gas cars now. Why can't we have gas car?
I don't know, it makes no sense. Why are we banning the sale of gas cars, but we still have these other gasoline and diesel powered vehicles that are way stronger and cause way more emissions than any car that's on the road? Maybe they should stop selling diesel powered tanks that we keep shipping off to other countries. Maybe you should shut up because you're spewing too much hot gas.
Did you say hot gas?
Yes.
Hot gas. Like the gray areas of the legal system that me and Brendan are about to exploit.
I knew it would have come to this. Are we at least splitting the price of an RV, or are we just going to start cooking in the basement?
What are you talking about? That's not what I meant. However, did you know, Brendan, that you can actually take the doors off your car and drive them without any repercussions?
No, Andrew. I never would have thought I would need to know I can take the doors off my Civic.
But you can. Have you seen these Jeeps on the road recently in Toronto with no doors? Because that's the intention. Factory pack people to take the doors off easily. But I was thinking, why not with a sedan? So, taking the doors off a Jeep Wrangler is really easy since it was designed to do so. But this Hyundai Sonata, not so much. Assistant. Thank you. Let's get to work.
Why does it matter if you lock your door? Are you afraid someone's going to rob your car when you have no doors? Yes, sir.
Lift, 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 lift.
Hey!
There we go, with absolutely zero troubles at all. We got a Hyundai with no doors. So unfortunately, you can't actually drive the car without any side mirrors. The side mirrors are attached to the door itself. So that means we have to find a replacement. Now that sounds a little bit suspect. A sedan on the roads with no doors? Come on, with all the new road laws, there's no way that this is legal. Or is it? There's technically no law saying that you have to have 4 doors. Instead, the Highway Traffic Act mainly focuses on whether your car is safe. Meaning, that you have to have a full visibility behind you. So if you have a rear view mirror and one side view mirror, you're pretty much good. Welcome to Auto Charge, baby!
Side mirror work at all?
No.
Is it genuinely?
I can see maybe the pavement. The thing about this is that if you actually do use this in in the real world, you're gonna get horrible
gas mileage.
Let me see what I'm getting right now. 11.4 liters per 100 kilometers. It still says the doors are open.
Does it?
Yeah.
Can't imagine why.
I don't know why. Unplugged. And you know what else I'm noticing? A little bit of duct tape is falling off from the front left side mirror. So,
well, your other side mirror is still good.
Yeah, how are we holding up over here?
I'm not saying that my side mirror can be held up by my hand.
Write that down. Write that down.
Officer, you should have been more specific.
No. Hold your horses. Hold your horse. Down the hill.
We should go to a drive-in zoo. Wait, we can go to the zoo.
No, go to the zoo. Go right.
Why can't we go to the zoo?
You don't want to go to the zoo? Dude, this the Gran.
I think it's just something you do maybe for 1 or 2 days when you're off. But honestly, if I wasn't poor, I'd buy a convertible.
This is gonna collapse with the.
We can probably escape pretty easily. Kinda. Not really though. This is type of shit you do in Finland. Brendan, this is why fate took us down this road.
Junkyard.
The junkyard.
It's a pretty goated junkyard, like, in all honesty.
What are we getting
So,
from here, Andrew?
if you want to run in and run out, like...
Brendan, look at the car while I'm gone.
They might think it's meant for the junkyard.
Yes. Literally, what the I'm getting out your side.
Alright, where's the nearest fast food joint around here? Can I just get a small iced coffee? Thanks.
I actually cannot believe that we really filmed that. This was probably one of the funniest and yet most painful video shoots we ever did.
Yeah, it is unfortunate we won't be able to experience something like that ever again.
Well, I wouldn't quite say unfortunate. Thank God.
But anyway, I just want to quickly thank the audience so much for supporting us and keeping up with the journey along the way.
I'm very surprised if there's any audience left. I would have all thought they stopped watching after you made fun of the Armenians.
And the Bulgarians.
And you made fun of the poor.
And the elitists.
And you also made fun of Canadians.
And crackheads.
And Americans.
No difference to that.
That's fair. And the federal government.
Liberal government.
Conservative Party.
And the Tesla Corporation.
Dude, I think you're just a bad person, bro.
Wait a minute, you don't think you're off the hook here because you also made fun of the Suzuki fans and the Honda Civic 11th generation fans.
Okay, well, to all 5 Suzuki fans still out there, I deeply apologize if I've offended you. And to all 11th gen owners that think their car is better than a 10th gen, fuck you.
Well, since he's made his apologies, maybe I can get to do mine.
Well, unfortunately, we are all out of time, and the viewers don't have another 10 hours to spare. So we're going to have to cut it short.
Well, anyway, thank you for watching, and
drive safe.